Hi Libra, welcome to your December 2022 Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large over the course of December of 2022, can you believe it's the end of the year? All right, you have the Daughter or the Page of Pentacles. So a lot of you are very focused on your own learning this month. All right, I kind of feel like some of you may be starting new studies or refreshing stuff. For a lot of you, I kind of get this feeling that it's like you're going back over material that you've already kind of taken in, but maybe you want to go on to like a second round. So for a lot of you, this could be about fine-tuning skills that you already have, or really sort of getting into the nitty-gritty of a craft of some kind. So for some of you, that's the way that this is likely to show up. For others, this could be that you are planning to go back to some kind of study. Now, because this is in your actions and interactions with the world at large, the other thing that you might want to consider this month as well, it feels like a lot of you will be looking at or redefining your purpose in some way, shape or form. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you'll have heard me say this. You will have multiple purposes over a lifetime. It's not just, oh, you have one, oh, that's it, I've done it, or I never fulfilled what I thought was my purpose and now I'm on the scrap heap of life. That's ridiculous, right? All jokes aside though, this really does all jokes aside, this does feel for me like a lot of you are honing skills and you are redefining your purpose as you understand it or as you see fit. With that said, let's get into your communications and conversations. You've got the Moon card. So for a lot of you, this is literally, right? So the Moon card is a card of the past. You couple that with this Page of Pentacles, this is going back to some sort of knowledge, some kind of study, something that you've learned previously. This is you redefining that. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if some of you are connecting to old colleagues. It wouldn't be a surprise if some of you were connecting to people that you've studied with in the past. This month, do expect some blasts from the past, but not like shocking or scary ones or ones that you're kind of like, ooh, you know, I don't want that. This is more going to be on the side of, okay, you know what? Yeah, we used to work together, or this person was actually a big part of my, you know, shaping my professional sort of outlook or my academic understanding of something. So this could be really nice. I am going to say, when it comes to communication itself, it could be a little bit iffy this month. The Moon card is a nebulous card. It's not an easy energy. And I will say, this month, when it comes to some of the conversations that you have, just be mindful about the details. It's not so much that you're being lied to, it's more that somebody, you know, maybe some of the information that you're getting, that is genuinely the best information or the most accurate information that a person can give you at that moment in time. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is accurate for what you're asking or what you need. So that's something you got to be a bit more discerning this month. When it comes to your Heart and Half Scepter, you've got the Daughter of Wands. So this is the Page of Wands. What do we see here? 2 pages. 2 pages represents disquiet. All right, so when it comes to communication, specifically around work and or the love life, things could get a little bit iffy. And the reason I feel this is that Page of Wands, you could be doing something or, you know, really putting your time and effort into something that you feel is a worthy pursuit. And it might blur the lines when it comes to your relationship in some way. So it's almost like this month you want to try and keep the work and the love life separate if that's possible. And where they start to bleed into each other, that's where the communication issues are going to come in. So be mindful of that. When it comes to those of you, so that's for those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments. For those of you that are single, look, I'm going to be honest. You could be interacting with or connecting to someone this month that makes you feel good. They say all the right things. They, you know, whisper all the sweet nothings. They're fun. You can laugh with them. You can drink with them. You can connect with them. Whatever it might be that you feel you need from a partner in a relationship sort of sense. You may get all of that, and yet it may still not necessarily be the one or the right one for what it is that you need long term. This does feel like it's more of kind of like a, you know, it's fun. For those of you that are single and in that space, or you have someone like, you know, when they're in town, you guys get together, maybe you hook up or whatever that might be. It might be that for some of you, now you've moved into a relationship and that person comes back into your world expecting everything to be the same, and you're having to find a way to break it to them that actually, you know, I've got a partner. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're still single, they come to town and they're like, I really want to get together with you. And they tell you, oh, well, actually, not only am I with somebody, but maybe I'm getting married. There's some potentially not disruptive piece of news, but it is something that's going to kind of make you go, okay, it's not what I thought it was anymore. For your money and materials, you have the 7 of Cups. All right, look, I got to be honest, these cards they're a little iffy, they're a little wishy-washy. The 7 of Cups in this deck is actually a really beautiful card, but it does suggest, so the 7 of Wands when it comes to money, finances, resources, don't lie to yourself this month. All right, especially if there's something that you're buying or something that you're planning to buy. It's like, no, I've got this under control. I know completely what I'm doing. I'm totally on top of it all. Not entirely sure that's the case, especially for those of you that are single and you're mingling. You could overspend this month. I will say to you, when it comes to finances and resources as well, this might be a month where you start looking at ways to take something off the plate. What are you paying for that is either not doing what it says anymore, or it's kind of like, actually, you know what, it's just not worth the money. All right, so with that said, every year, as you know, I put on a winter solstice alignment activation session. This year it will be going ahead. Yes, I have fixed the tech glitch. For those of you that attended last year, you know I had a tech glitch. It was a whole thing. Don't worry, I have fixed that for this year. But this year, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. You know, I say that every year, and touch wood, so far every year I have kind of delivered, which is really nice. So I've got 2 special guests for you this year, one of whom you already know, and one I can't wait for you to find out who it is. So we're going to be talking about the numerology, we're going to be talking about the astrology, we're going to be talking about how to tap into the magic of the solstice itself to get the most out of it for you. More importantly, we're going to be talking about the human design for the year and how that's going to be affecting all of us. And as if that wasn't enough, you're also going to get an FLP, so a future life progression session done by yours truly in the group, and we're going to shoot you off into the future of 2023 so that you can find out how your personal year pans out. What are the months that you need to lean into? What is the stuff that you maybe need to steer clear of, or what challenges you need to sidestep? All of that on the 21st of December, 7 p.m. UK time. There will be a recording, so don't panic. You can get your seat on the link in the description box below. Seats are £33.33. It would be lovely to have you there. So for your weeks of the month, let's see what's going on with you for each week of December. So for the first week, you've got the Devil card. This is actually kind of cool. So, although we start the month in Sagittarius season, whatever you're focused on here in this first week of the month, it will be starting to come to fruition, or it will be a big focus or a big draw in the time of Capricorn. So literally just 2 weeks later, right? The other thing with the Devil card, it can see us getting obsessed. So the healthy sort of energy that the Devil can exude is where we get that healthy obsession to make something happen. For a lot of you, this could be that you're chucking your nose and so far into the grindstone or into the hard work, or maybe whatever it is that you're studying, or whatever new knowledge you feel you need to brush up on, that you kind of just ignore everything else. And I gotta be honest, because of the other cards that are present here, you need to watch out for this, because it looks like there's stuff that you're, you know, not that I can tell you, but it looks like there's stuff that you're supposed to be doing here at the beginning of December. And it's almost like you're putting it off because you're so focused on what it is that you're learning. Be mindful of that, because as you know, December's a bit of a crazy month for everybody, and it might catch up with you. For the second week of the month, you've got the Death card underneath the moon. So on a more spiritual / psychic level, the second week of December, I wouldn't be surprised if you are having reconnections from the past. I wouldn't be surprised if you're visited in dreams or at night by loved ones or ancestors past. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are delving into some kind of practice that allows you to utilize whatever mediumistic ability or tendencies you have. I kind of feel like this will be more by accident though. It's not going to be that you kind of make a beeline to focus on this, unless that's what you're studying. But outside of that, I kind of feel like this will be something that happens to you, not necessarily, you know, by you. Now, on another level, because it is here underneath the moon card, which is in your communication sector, this could be a break with the past, an old connection, an old conversation maybe, especially if you've had one that's recurring. Maybe you've had an issue or a challenge, 2 pages, disquiet, maybe there's a challenge that keeps coming up. And it's like, I've had this conversation so many times, there's nothing more that I can say about it. That second week of December is going to see it come to a final completion. All right, and then finally, because you got the Death card next to the Devil, I would be aware that this beginning of the month could be a little bit intense. All right, just gonna put that out there. For the third week of the month, you have the Sun card. All right, beautiful. So finally we've got some light in here. And look at that, right? So your festive period looks like it's going to be fun, enjoyable. There's going to be a lot of laughter, potentially a lot of indulgence, because why not? It's that time of year. All jokes aside, that Sun card, remember, it enhances your blessings and it diminishes your challenges. So the fact that you have this, especially coupled with the Page of Wands, it does suggest that there is going to be some light news that comes out of this. So there will be developments as we come into the second half of the month and we come into Capricorn season. You will feel that change, right? And look, remember what we said here? Love it. For your fourth week of the month, you've got the Star card. So I like this, especially because that fourth week and that 7 of Cups, this could literally see something about a financial, not burden, but a financial sort of commitment that you have. You could be looking at it and saying, right, the future of this is going to be ... Now, the Sun card coupled with the Star literally represents astrology. If you're going to have an astrology reading or connect with or to an astrologer, this is the time that you want to be doing it, right? This sort of, I mean, that third week, you're probably not going to find anybody because there's going to be a lot of people at home with families celebrating whatever it is they celebrate. But I like this, especially because that 7 of Cups, it was a little bit, but with the Star card here, it's like you're getting a glimpse to say, okay, you know what? I've done this for long enough. It's sort of brought me to this space, but actually financially, I don't think I need it anymore. So when it comes to your moons, so remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm always talking about your ascendant first, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon, but still relevant. All right, that's still relevant information. Now, that being said, we're going to start with the full moon because it happens on the 8th of December. This is, so what I always say to people is when it comes to any lunar event, whether it's an eclipse or not an eclipse, the day before, the day of, and the day after, that is your window to pay attention to, because it shows you what's likely coming up as a result of that lunation. For this, you have, for you guys, it's taking place in your 9th house. This is what I like to call in old astrology, it was called the house of God, right? And I like to typify this as, this is your way of connecting to the cosmos. It's the house of travel, higher philosophy, higher, you know, further goals and education and stuff. But it's also philosophy and personal wisdom. It's how you transmute and understand and disseminate the knowledge that you gain from your connection to the spiritual world. This is a very lucky house in astrology, and the fact that you've got a full moon here, it could bring, potentially highlight some kind of travel that's needing to happen or will likely go on to happen. It could also represent for some of you a completion or an ending, right? A full moon in the second week, a completion, a culmination, or an ending of some sort, because it's on the 8th of December. This could represent a moment for you where you kind of say, that part of my life or that place that I used to be connected to is no more, right? Remember, a full moon is a completion, a culmination, or an ending. Finally, your 9th house is, like I said, it's a very lucky house as well, and it's a future orientated house. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you feel like your world is shifting or you're ready to go in new directions as a result of this. So for this, you've got the Gate 4 and Answer, one of my favorite cards in the Human Design Oracle deck. And the reason being is this card isn't a prediction, it's an instruction. You have to ask the question, right? That full moon is trying to highlight some knowledge, some wisdom to you from the universe in your 9th house. This could be a very spiritual message. It could come through a dream, through some kind of psychic impression, through some kind of, you know, maybe you have, and this has happened to me so many times. It's one of the reasons that I kind of don't question it or worry about it anymore. But like, I've had moments where I've literally heard like people that have passed over, loved ones, old like family members, and I'll hear them in their voice how they used to speak to me, speaking now to a situation that I've had, and I'm like, right, okay, so you're telling me that right? And I will just go on my merry way because I know that they've given me that information. But this card basically says, formulate a question that you want to know. Do this around the full moon, right? Formulate a question that you want the answer to. Throw it out or ask it to the world or to the universe, and then wait for a material or a physical answer. It can't be your intuition. It can't even be a dream unless it's like a super powerful one. It has to come from the material or the physical world. Something you hear on TV, a conversation you overhear while you're in the queue paying for your shopping. You know, you switch on the radio and it answers your question directly. That's how you get the answer to your question at this time. The new moon on the 23rd of December is absolutely beautiful. The Capricorn new moon is lush. Make sure you use it. And the reason I say this is, I've said this to all of the signs, I feel like this new moon is a reward, right? We've had a gauntlet of a year. And I think we can all agree on that much. And I kind of get this feeling that this is the reward. This is that moment where we can kind of go, yep, this is great, you know, and set your intentions around this, whatever they are. Use that new moon. For you, this is happening in your 4th house of home, family, property, real estate. It's also your deep emotional self. This is the foundation of the chart. It's the deepest part of you where you kind of, you know, yeah, that's as much as I will say. Your message for this, wrong deck, Raf. Your message for this is the Gate 15 and humanity. And the message behind this card is the love of humanity is what carries you forward. So whatever you're manifesting or calling in for yourself, you know, in that 4th house space, ask yourself how it can either support your family or the people that you love or the people that you live with, or how it can support your community. As long as you have that element as a part of it, whatever you get out of it from your manifestation, around the Capricorn full moon of 2023, you will see great results. All right. With that said, whatever you do celebrate, whatever you don't, whether it is, you know, Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, I wish you a happy, wonderful festive season, whether you do or don't celebrate. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for all of your support this year and beyond. It really does mean the absolute world. Take care, and I'll see you next year.